Welcome back to Tontime, episode 5 already. I'm glad you're here. It feels like a good moment to pause and ask a bigger question. Where is the legal AI market actually heading? Because this new year, and especially the last few days, have been quite intense. Just last week, we saw something that caught almost everyone off guard, me included. Claude announced new software aimed at the legal market, with Anthropic revealing new legal focused capabilities. And almost immediately, the global stock markets reacted. Shares of some of the largest legal tech and legal data companies in this world dropped sharply, up to 20%. Thomson Reuters, RELX, the owner of LexisNexis, Wolters Kluwer, even companies only loosely connected to legal infrastructure felt this shock. The signal was actually quite loud. So, with this new episode of Tontime, let's call it the Claude Legal AI Shock. But why more legal AI tech will not resolve the key dilemma in this current space. What happened when Claude made its announcement? This was not the collapse of legal technology. And this was also not the sudden death of incumbents. In my view, the markets completely overreacted. But there was some pressure. And the pressure was not on deep legal tech platforms with decades of created content and embedded workflows like LexisNexis or the others. Their mode is real. Their data cannot simply be replicated overnight. The pressure, in my view, is actually elsewhere. It is on those thin, commoditized tools. It's on wrappers around general LLMs. It's on products that do not offer much beyond what a capable model plus a tech team can already assemble. And that distinction to me matters quite a bit. But let's move on because I want to actually go deeper because the topic I see is somewhere else and not just the Claude announcement. The constant flow of new legal AI technology has actually become a major challenge for the entire market. Every week, we see dozens of new tools, not just Claude. We see new platforms, new promises, new fundraising. There are now more than 5,000 legal AI tools out there, each claiming we are better, we are bigger, we are cheaper, and maybe we are even smarter. What does that actually create? Not really clarity. It creates what I call decision paralysis, both on the buyer and the user side, and actually also on the vendor side, because everyone is kind of overwhelmed, either because of growing competition in a segment or because of too many tools out there. I have exchanged a lot of notes and conversations with legal operations leaders across the world, different jurisdictions, different industries, but the same question. Where is this heading? None of them is asking for more legal AI demos, but all are asking for clear use cases, broad geographic coverage, transparent pricing, fast onboarding models, long-term roadmaps, security, and data privacy layers. But most importantly, they are all asking the question, how does this tool fit into my very specific operating model? Because the problem is, as I said, not adding more technology into this already boiling market. The problem is connecting the right legal AI tools to the right users at the right maturity levels in the right organizations at the right time. So a lot of variables out there that need to be brought together. And currently, that connection amongst all these different elements is largely broken. There's another thing. Many software companies, I would say Claude included, are fairly underestimating. Lawyers are highly skeptical of legal AI because this technology disrupts their workflows, disrupts professional identities, disrupts established business models, In fact, it can disrupt entire careers. So dumping more legal AI tools into the global legal market will not automatically lead to adoption or innovation. In fact, it often does the opposite. And some of those legal AI vendors are adding free implementation support on top of their software licenses. To me, it's a great offer. However, it doesn't solve the underlying issue because externalized implementation will be perceived as yet another consulting project. There will be no intrinsic buy-in. There will be no organic adoption. There will be no cultural shift unless organizations are truly committed from the very top with a long-term impact plan and a real change management mandate. External forces, even if offered for free by some of these vendors, will collide with large and heavy internal resistance. So what needs to change? Legal tech vendors, in my view, need to become much more legal than tech. Both sides, vendors and legal organizations, need to collaborate more upstream, much more user-centric and slower and more human. Otherwise, I'm afraid the current momentum will stall and innovation, as pronounced and as enticing it is, might be seen as noise to routine practices instead of systemic progress. Legal AI software is not Salesforce, TurboTax, or Workday, which are serving industries that have been much more open to technology and change than the legal world has been so far. So what did the Anthropic announcement really mean? Well, it wiped out roughly 300 billion US dollars in the legal tech market capitalization. But it did not wipe out the momentum that is still going strong. If anything, it increased the pressure on the legal profession. It increased pressure to sustainably integrate legal AI technology. It increased the pressure to rethink and redesign operating models. And it increased the pressure to rethink people, processes, and culture. And if that is the real outcome of this Claude shock, then, in my view, the legal industry has not fallen further behind other industries. It actually reached another important milestone in its quest for systemic innovation and a true professional upgrade. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching this new episode of Tom Time. Thank you for tuning in and looking forward to seeing you again next Monday. Until then, be optimistic, be bold, and embrace the opportunity. Take care.